to SAS to start. So SAS playing from right to left. Once again in their customary red and white jerseys. And ISKL in their yellow and blue hooped home jerseys, playing from left to right. So a big shout out to all the sports fans checking in from overseas, particularly those of you not in Southeast Asia. Of course, we love our fans back home. We love our fans in Singapore, and we love our fans in KL, but especially love the fact that our alumni and our former coaches and staff are tuning in from frozen ponds in Minnesota or beautiful beaches in New Zealand. So Curtis Gray kicks the ball into touch across the middle line. It's going to be an ISKL line out, midway between the 10-meter line and the middle line. You can see that was none other than Mr. Neil Woods placing the ball on the ground there. He's got a red hat on and a green shirt. Mr. Neil Woods, of course, longtime IASAS rugby coach here for ISM. IB coordinator, I believe. So here's the line out from ISKL. SAS seems to have won the tap back. Eagles pushing forward across the 10-meter line. Here's Thomas passing the ball out to Curtis. Curtis out to Charlie. Charlie, one more pass. No, he holds on to it. Offloads it here to Connor. Connor on the outside to Ethan. Remember, Ethan's got the fancy footwork. Look at him go. Oh, it's going to take more than one person to tackle Ethan today. So Eagles clear out the ruck. Here's number 13. That's Thomas. Thomas sees greenery. He sees real estate. He's trying to go score. Curtis, check that. Charlie covering over him. Curtis going to cycle the ball out. Here's number 7. And number 33, that's Cam. So Cam pushing over the ball. Eagles still have the ball. Here's number 33, Cam Bowling. He sees real estate, and he's gone for it. And the referee says, you did it, son. So here we go, folks. We've got a 5-point try. Cam Bowling offering his best Barry Sanders impression, handing the ball to the referee. Shout out to all the Detroit Lions fans in the audience, in the crowd today. Detroit Lions, of course, not the same old Lions, but the brand new Lions under Coach Dan Campbell. Lost in the NFC Championship, of course, to the 49ers. 49ers playing next weekend in the Super Bowl against everybody's favorite Kansas City Chiefs or the Taylor Swift Chiefs, for those of you following along. So here's Curtis. Impossible angle for Curtis to kick from, but he's done it before. Just left of the goalpost. Flag stay down. Curtis unlucky. Happy to have some critical fans in the audience today. Thank you, Myra Badia, captain varsity girls volleyball team, reminding me that number 13, of course, is Kian and not Thomas. So I'm going to have to check my roster sheet. Confusing Kian with Thomas Hugh, but Kian, number 13, is indeed Kian. So there's enough Thomases on this team. They can't go wrong if you suggest one of the SAS players' name is Thomas. So Eagles up, 19-0. We got 10 minutes to play, 11 minutes to play here in the second half. Oh, unfortunately mishandled by ISKL. Here's Ethan Cohn. Dancing feet. Off to Connor Murgatroyd. Into contact. Ball gets cleared out by Tommy Fowler. Here's Harry Dingemans. Oh, Harry sees prize. Harry sees pay dirt. He's going for it straight ahead. Referee's going to say he didn't let go of the ball when he was tackled. It's going to be an ISKL penalty. Harry doesn't love it. But once again, Harry's opinion doesn't really matter. Only the referee's opinion does. So here you go. Eagles back up 10. Curtis backing all the way up to midfield, anticipating the kick into touch. Charlie 2. Eagles putting lots of pressure on ISKL. ISKL playing most of the game between their 10-meter line and their own goal line. Ball goes into touch. Going to be an ISKL lineup. So here we are, friends. ISKL line out right here. This is Ken Reyes from the Philippines, playing here at home. Probably loving being back in Bonifacio Global City. Taking the line out. Eagles snatch it away. There's number 13, Kian. Here's Connor Murgatroyd. He's brought down by ISKL. Great tackle. Brought back to Curtis. Oh, Curtis, cheeky chip. Let's see Ethan Cohn go. Ethan puts great pressure on ISKL. Oh, this is great speed. Oh, great open field tackle out there. So here comes Ethan again. Ethan's brought down by 2 KL boys. Eagles clear the ball out. Here's Harry Dingemans pushing straight forward. So ball outside to Curtis. And outside to Charlie. Let's see if Charlie can make his move. Charlie running along the sideline. He's taking 2, 3. Charlie offloading to Curtis. Let's see if Curtis can get pay dirt. Curtis brought down by 2 players himself. Cleared out by Connor Murgatroyd. So Eagles trying to punch the ball through the goal line. Great effort here by 17. Of course, 17 is Garrett Scott, senior, for the Eagles. There's number 10, Curtis, outside to Connor. Connor sees pay dirt. A little bit of fancy footwork. And across the goal line. So Connor Murgatroyd, been played sparingly this tournament because of a lingering lower body, I think hamstring or knee issue. Nevertheless, 90%. Finally crosses the goal line here. First try of the tournament. And this is probably the momentum the Eagles were looking for as they go into their final match this afternoon. So number 13, of course, indeed Kian Williams. Shout out Myra. And confusing number 13 with number 15, Thomas Hugh. Playing a similar position. On the field now, number 27, fan favorite, Neil Vitti. Of course, Eagles super fan during the first season IASAS in Singapore. Probably lost his voice midway through the second point of IASAS. But Eagles super fan on the field right now. You'll recognize him in his green cap. Easy to spot from far away. And Eagles bring on some reserves. And keep some of their first stringers on. So not letting up the pressure on ISKL, though the score is 26-0 with around 7.5 minutes to play. Let's see what ISKL can do here with Thomas's kick. So Thomas, nice high kick just across the 10-meter line, midway between 10 and 22. Unfortunately, ISKL mishandles it. So it's deemed a scrum for ISKL and SAS knock-on. Now, ladies and gentlemen, you got to remember, I'm about 100 meters away from the action, and I do not have eagle eyes, whereas the referee, of course, is 2 meters away from the action and does have eagle eyes. This is a great opportunity here. You can see both Tomo Tanabe and Kathy Casey standing behind the referee with the flag. There's 2 red-shirted Eagles staff members, of course, medical staff from our athletics and activities team. Big shout-out, Kathy Casey and Tomo Tanabe. So KL fans imploring their team to conjure up a little bit of magic. Meanwhile, the referee having 1 or 2 words with the scrummage crew. So ball goes in. Eagles scrum looks to be effective here. It's a penalty for ISKL. Eagles collapse the scrum, I believe. Somebody's on the ground. Looks like a KL Panther. Medical team rushing out to the field. Shout out ISKL medical staff. Shout out ISKL activities team. Doing a first-class job looking after their players here. Eagles gather around the sideline. Last-minute pro tips by their coach, Mr. Brian Cool. Can't miss the ISKL fans here, folks. ISKL parents wandering around in their customary sky blue, powder blue, and yellow hats. Troll-like hats, quite honestly, but easy to recognize. Great spirit, great atmosphere by ISKL as usual. Panther Pride is alive and strong. So huge support shown for ISKL player. I think that's number 10. That's Han Sun. And he's in the chair right now, but he'll be looked after by our first-class medical teams. ISKL able to make a sub. Eagles get organized. Kean in the back, anticipating the kick. Out on the wing here, we've got Connor and Ethan. So not just speed, not just agility, but some toughness out here on the wing. So great push forward by ISKL. Very effective second, third, fourth effort by the Panthers. They're about to cross the Eagles' middle line here. Let's see if they can expose some of the space behind the Eagles' defense. So KL well organized behind the ball here. Nice pass to the outside. Unfortunately, ISKL Panthers seem to be standing still when they're receiving the ball. Nevertheless, tough enough to bring the ball into the middle. That's 23 for the Eagles trying to bring down the ball, but unsuccessful. Look at this toughness by ISKL. So ISKL really showing their mettle here. Eagles needing to do everything they can to bring down, taking 2, 3, 4 Eagles to take down an ISKL player. So this is great, hard-nosed, tough rugby. It's exactly why Coach Gareth Allen loves 10-person rugby as opposed to 7s. 7's really just a track meet in open field. So here ISKL has a penalty. They're about to kick the ball into touch. Yep, ball's kicked out of bounds. Just past the 22-meter line. It's going to be an ISKL line-out. And now for the first time, certainly in the second half, ISKL have the Eagles on the back foot, or back talon. So another medical substitution for ISKL. ISKL doing what they can here to muster up.
Referees will be implementing uncontested scrums for the remainder of this game.
All right, it seems that enough of the players from either team are banged up. So the referee going to implement uncontested scrums. So we'll see what that looks like in a moment. But essentially that means that the team entering the ball into the scrum will automatically get the right to win it back. So the two teams not putting that much pressure onto each other. Both teams know they have another important game left today, and that the competitive necessity of this game is absent. So shout out to the KL and SAS coaches, of course, for agreeing to do what they can to protect their players and ensure that the competitiveness of their games this afternoon is at the highest possible level. So here's going to be an SAS line out now. Check that. Looks like an SAS scrum, so an uncontested scrum. So we're going to see it here for the first time. The ISKL line out did not go down between the two rows perfectly. So here comes a change for the Eagles. It's Ethan Cohn off, Charlie Cool on. So the scrum is going to bind, but they're not going to engage. You'll see that there's no pressure during the scrum. The ball comes out. The Eagles mishandle it. There's a knock-on, arguably at the worst possible place, exactly on the 5-meter line. Little miscommunication, clearly, between teammates. So trying to resolve the cleanliness of their game, the hygiene of their game. And here comes an ISKL scrum that will also not be contested. So as ISKL enters the ball, they'll win it back. Good communication on the back line by the Eagles. So the Let's Go Panthers cheer. Here comes the ball out to the right side of the field. Okay. Oh, tackled and stolen away by the Eagles. It's a penalty for ISKL. Captain Thomas Bouchard playing right at the fringes of the rules. Not unlike Sir Richard the Lionheart, captain of the All Blacks, Richie McCaw. So ISKL pushing the ball, trying to get across the Eagles' goal line. They're looking for pay dirt. They see an overlap on the far left side. It's there, But unfortunately, the last 2 passes can't be made. Can it be done now? There's one. Let's see if there's one more. Nope. He's crossing back to the middle, and he scores. What a great play for ISKL. So ISKL finds Valhalla at in the last 2 minutes of the game. So great effort, great second effort, great third effort by the Panthers to put a dent in the defensive perfection of the Eagles. So here's a little bit of a water break coming for both teams. The Eagles told to move aside while ISKL tries to kick the conversion. Here's the ISKL kick. And flags stay down. So the kick is no good. The score is 26-5, but ISKL musters a little bit of honor by getting across the Eagle goal line. Eagles did what they could, but a costly penalty just at the 5-meter line. Captain Thomas Bouchard reminding some of his players to lock in. Of course, senior captain understands the stakes in this game, that this game is all about getting ready for the next game, which is the championship game against Taipei this afternoon. So here comes ISKL. Looking to kick the ball to the left side. Very high, nice high kick. Crosses the 10-meter line. Eagles let it bounce. ISKL recovers it. Tap it backwards. Oh, here's a chase for the Eagles. The Eagles trying to get on top of the ball. Of course, the game horn sounds, but the game clock is being kept by the referees. So here's a penalty for the Eagles. Let's see what Charlie elects to do. He's going to kick the ball into touch. Of course, referee's going to let this phase of play continue. Ball disappears over the ISM fence. So we have a little bit of game of road rugby right now. Hopefully the cyclists or the motorcyclists don't get hurt by that ball. There's Neil Woods once again putting the ball down on the sideline for the line out. It's going to be an Eagles line out. We're going to see if the road rugby ball makes it back over in one shot. Hasn't been successful the last few attempts. So here it comes. Let's see what happens. Yep, ball makes it over cleanly. Neil Woods mishandles it, unfortunately. Kale wins the Eagles line out. There's a penalty and the referee calls the ball game. So, team showing great spirit of IASAS here, congratulating each other on a well-fought game. Once again, competitively insignificant in the sense that the outcome did not determine what's going to happen this afternoon, but once you put a ball in play and a whistle in a referee's hands, competitive juices start flowing, and these 16, 17, 18-year-old boys compete at the highest level they can. So big shout out to the ISKL team and the SAS team. So Eagles win 26-5. Finish the round robin 4-1. They'll be the number 2 seed in the finals this afternoon. And the next match, starting in just over 5 minutes, is going to be between Taipei